But you have to decide which market you will play and how wide your market will be. Iroko Partners, where Ifeanyi works, they play across Africa, isn't it? In short, they play across the world. They used to call themselves Africa, now they changed it. They used to say taking Africa online. Have you changed it? Have you changed it? It's still taking Africa online. It's not taking the world online. The world is online in many places. Yes, taking Nollywood to the world. Yes. No, it's not taking Nollywood. That's how you started. You've passed that. Don't worry, that's another discussion. We'll get there. It's a case study later on. Because some people were sleeping and they came and ate their lunch. And some people are complaining. So, you see what you have the bottom of the pyramid. Bottom of the pyramid are the poorest of the poor. You know that you can make money from the poor? Is it possible? How did cowbell start? Can anybody remember? What did cowbell do to our market in Nigeria that changed things? Sachet milk. Was there a market for sachet milk? Before they came, was there a market? There's always been a market. Just that nobody was reaching that market. There was. There will always be poor in the society. There will always be middle class. There will always be rich, isn't it? There will always be. In societies, some people will oppress others. Some people will be economically challenged. It will happen. Even in the richest of countries, they are still poor. Even in the US, there's still unemployment, isn't it? Yes. Yesterday, they released their unemployment figures for this month. So where am I going to with this? It's saying that even if you live in a community where people are very poor, there's still plenty of money to scoop out. Now they sachet everything. They sachet sugar. They sachet butter. In short, you can live on sachets. Yes. For some houses, what they now do, they ration it. So if we know you are taking one sachet of milk every day, we know what you consume in 1 month. Because if we had the big tin, you could finish in 1 week. So they came and they took over that market. But they didn't hold it for long. You know why? And what do you think will happen? How difficult is it to produce a sachet? How difficult? What does it take? It's the same milk now. You put in a sachet. So how difficult is it to produce a sachet? It's not. It's just packaging. You won't even do it yourself. You get another company that will produce the sachet. And you give it to you. You just and seal it. That's all now. It's the same milk you were producing. You've just changed what? The container. So it was easy for others to what? Copy. What happened to these guys? I hope you know them. Did you use that telephone? I used it. I used it. There's one in your office. But that one is worse than this. It's a more ancient version. You know that? You know what's down there? Let me use the pointer so that you can see. Can you see this? Do you know what that was? It was raining in the 90s. Can somebody guess what it is?
A pager.
Yes, a pager. Do you know what a pager was? In the 90s, there was that device. People would hook it on their trousers. And they'll get messages from their colleagues at work. Short messages like this. It was a raining thing. It didn't last more than some few years. GSM landed and took it apart. Today, I'm looking for a specimen. I just want to keep one for this kind of classes. I can't find. Even to keep one as an antique, just keep it in the museum. Let's know it exists. Very soon you look for typewriters, you won't find one. You won't. Because you will come to a generation that will deny, they will deny that there was a typewriter. They will say it didn't exist. And of course, you know Betamax. The Betamax video recorder that was supposed to do everything was a failed product. So what happened to them? They went into extinction. They failed. Time and chance overtook them. Change happened. Of course, the guy on my right, you know him. Or do you know it? That's a Polaroid camera. I grew up with one in our house. That's the wait and take. That's the beginning of wait and take. You snap, it comes out through the bottom. Let me show you. So you snap, Okay, you snap here, it comes out here. Immediately. Where is it now? And you blow it, in fact. Please describe it.
Praise the Lord. It's normally called wait and take. The photographer will snap it, then from the bottom plate, he bring it out and blow it and fan it and look at it and see a picture and hand over to you, pay and collect.
Some people made money. Where are they now? Remember those days when people go to parties and all they do is to take with analog cameras. Now, if you go to a party, an event as a photographer without a digital camera, what happens to you? Nobody will even listen to you. Why? So you see consumers. So it's a funny thing. It's the same consumer, is it not? So what has happened to him and her or her? They changed. What changed them? They were looking for convenience, ease of use, portability, something they could carry around. So, let's talk about business. We're talking about business strategy. So what are the stages of a business? The stages of a business, you don't have to think about, don't bother to write. It's very easy. Think about how the life cycle of a human being is. He's conceived, in the womb. So that's the stage of the idea. And he's born. That's the startup. The business starts. Then it starts what? Growing. So that's the stage of what? Growth. Then the business becomes established. When you grow to a certain extent, your parents can leave you on your own to run around without being scared that you fall into somewhere. So you are established right now. You are okay. You're doing well as a business. You are comfortable. The banks like you. You know why they like you? They are saying you bring returns. You are stable as a business. You've been there for 10 years and beyond. They are okay with you. And then two things happen when you get to that established stage. What can happen? You either go up or you go down. So if you go up, you begin to expand. If you go down, the business begins to die, declines. And there are many businesses like that, I don't need to mention names. I'm trying not to hurt some businesses by not mentioning names. But they are some of them we grew up with. Some of them were making coolers. Okay? Plastic coolers, but suddenly they are not there anymore. So things, but at the time they held the market captive. Everybody had one in the house at least. There are many businesses like that. There was a time every car, there was a B2 car in almost every 2 houses, isn't it? A B2 car. Peugeots. Where are they now? When did the Toyotas and when did the Japanese cars and the Korean cars, when did they start coming to Nigeria? 20, 25 years ago, they were not here. It was Peugeot. It was Mercedes. In fact, I know friends that their fathers will prefer them drive any Jeep, but don't touch my Mercedes. Don't touch my Mercedes. It was an iconic car. But how many young people will wake up now and have Mercedes as their dream car? Probably will not. Even the most. Then the ones that they can afford, that will be luxury Mercedes, they can't even pay for it. Then eventually a business goes in if a business now ends, it ends in several ways. One, it either gets acquired by someone else, it's brought over, or the business dies, folds up, goes bankrupt. So this is what I've shown you now. All the various stages. So a business will start, it will end. It's how it ends. If it's acquired, it ends in a bigger way. Or it could go that way. Move on. Question is that, what are you carrying? Okay? The lady over there spoke about her business. She's also spoken about her business. Others have spoken about what they're trying to do. This young man here is looking for, one of these days he is looking forward to starting his own business. The question is that, what ideas are you nursing? Remember, this discussion is not about you starting your business. This discussion is about you understanding how to make businesses succeed. Meaning, if you work for someone, if you understand how to make them succeed better, you also win with them. It's not about you jumping out of where you are. So what ideas are you nursing where you are? That's the question. What are they? And how do you proceed? Someone said a very interesting thing. He said that if you have an idea, would that necessarily translate to success? No, it will not. And there's a reason for that. You see, we talked about the sachet milk. There's a need for those people who did not have up to the money needed to buy a tin of milk. There's a need for them, especially those who earn daily wages, to be able to take a little bit of that daily wage and buy a commensurate amount of milk to use. For those people, if you meet a need that no one else was meeting for them, they will pay you, isn't it? And if they paid you for it, you generate what? Profit. You generate revenue. Now, if the revenue you generate is greater than the cost for producing it, it becomes profit. So when you have that unmet need that you've met, and it generates profit for you, it means your business idea is successful. Until then, it's still an idea. And does not necessarily need to be conceived. Or rather, does not need to be bettered. What I mean as in, yes, fantastic, you can think about 50 ideas every day. Does not mean you need to start any. Because if you don't answer the fundamental question, does it meet any need? It may be great, but may not meet any need. Or may meet a need in your assumption, but to the people, they are not willing to pay for that need. Imagine if you started a service and your service was that, pay me 100 naira every month. I'll call you at a particular time every morning to wake you up. You will go around all the taxi parks and you will get the numbers of every taxi driver. Then you build a website where you get there. Somebody is laughing. When you get there, you choose the area you are going to, and then a certain number of numbers, taxi driver numbers, will be sent to you. You call a particular driver, and he comes to pick you up. Then they take a charge or take a commission. I laughed. I told him, please go online. You see, why are you wasting your time? Any idea that jumps into your mind, go and research first whether it exists. If they've done it before, how well have they done it? It's only if they've not done it well, or there's still an area of need they've not provided, that's when you can come in, isn't it? So we checked. I said, let's check directories. So we checked mocality.com.ng. We checked vConnect. We checked the number of online business directories. That's the kind of place, madam, that your information can be, sometimes at no cost to you. So we checked and we saw, in fact, in one of them we saw hundreds of taxi driver numbers. His business died before it started. We were chatting on BB, so that's how it ended. I said, he said, he's excited, he wants me to come on board. I said, I get that all the time. So I said, why don't you check Google? Just Google this, he checked it. I said, try this, he checked it. Then he said, the business doesn't exist anymore. All this discussion was 5 minutes. He would have gone ahead that weekend to be planning for something that was dead on arrival. So, guys, a successful business idea, if it will not meet a need that somebody is willing to pay you enough for, that it covers your cost of production, it's not successful. It's not going to be. Let's move on. Question again. Do enough people want what you will be offering enough to pay enough for it? There's enough there. Enough people must want what you are offering enough to be able to pay enough for you. So let's start with that guy who decides that in a place where they are doing massive construction, let's say in Ajawa State, decides to open a 5-star restaurant. Great, isn't it? But will he have enough people willing to pay enough for it? Those guys don't want to pay 500 naira for chicken. They don't want chicken. They want pomo. They want what? They want assorted, isn't it? And they want to be able to pay per meat or per pomo. You don't want to tell them, okay, one plate, one scoop of soup costs this. They don't care. They don't want you to give them bottled water. What do they want? Pure water. You just don't even get pure water. Just turn it into the glass or mug for them to drink. So in that place, that situation, this will not work. Because you would have insufficient people who are unwilling to even pay. So critical thing, especially where you want to situate your business and what you want to do. Can we move on? You know these ones? You know Virgin Nigeria? Don't tell me you don't know Virgin Nigeria. You know what happened to them? You know Next, the newspaper? And many more businesses that you know around you. Many more die every day, not even the big ones. Because a lot of us run businesses that never took off. A lot of us carry complimentary cards that has everything, including general contractor. You can supply anything in season and out of season. Can we move on? Okay. Great question. Can somebody decode that diagram? Anyone wants to give it a try? Okay.
The difference is the packaging.
Yeah?
Yeah, the content is the same, but the packaging is different.
Who are they meant for? No, all the different ones. Who are they meant for? Is it the same set of people? What can you tell us about the kind of market each one will appeal to?
It's not for the same set of people. The sachet one is meant for the less privileged ones, the less ones. The medium one is for middle class people, and the other one is for the rich ones.
Does anybody hold a contrary view? Does anyone? Okay. So this is the same product, isn't it? The packaging changed. The packaging changed. The quality may be changed, especially from sachet water to bottled. But between bottled water and the other and the what do you call it now? And the dispenser type, it's basically the same content, isn't it? Just a bigger quantity. So, but for you to be able to consume the dispenser one, you have to have what? A dispenser. So that can only be afforded by a certain category of people. So if you decide to be selling dispenser bottled water like this in dispenser form, it means that you have a target market that's clearly different from the guys that will buy bottled water and the guys that will buy pure water. We are starting now. We are getting to the real meat. Go on. So what is strategy? Somebody want to try? They are reading my slides. Fantastic. But I put everything there, but that's not what I'm saying. Let me share with you. Let me share with you my own thoughts about strategy. Oh, you want to try? Oh, fantastic. I like new people to talk, please.
I feel that strategy is a way or means of knowing your customers and how to get to them and know what they want, and then be able to beat your competitors.
Have you played chess before? You play chess? How many people play chess at any one time? How many? 4? 2? Yes, how many people play chess? 2. Where do they sit? Do they sit together? They sit opposite. Okay. One person plays. As the person plays, what's the other person doing? Anticipating the move of that person. And when the person moves, he's looking at the implication and he's making his move. And it's continuous throughout, isn't it? And some chess matches can go on for days and weeks. Especially at the grandmaster level. So So how does that translate to strategy? We all strategize every day. You know, strategy is a way of getting from where you are to achieving your outcome with the resources you have or don't have. So it will answer questions like, what should I do? Where should I do it? Who should I do it for? When do I do it? How do I do it? All the questions around that, it will ask. So strategy answers those questions for you. A lot of people never get to really ask those questions and keep asking them and get the answers that they need. So, before we talk about that, let me just show you the steps to even getting anywhere near doing anything with strategy. It starts with the stage of analysis. You actually analyze. The things you analyze, will come to them later. You analyze, and then you design the strategy itself. And when you design, you implement what you designed. And then you evaluate what you have implemented. Evaluation is measurement. How well are we doing? What brought us here? Will it take us there? You know, it's possible what brings you to somewhere may not take you. Let me give you an example. If you came to a community with a bike, maybe while you were there, rain fell. You know, you may not go back with a bike. You may go back with a canoe. So evaluation is you looking at the road, say, wow, that car this car is two-wheel drive. It will sink. Please, I won't go. So that process is a mental process of going through all of that allows you to arrive at that solution called strategy. So it's analyze, design, implement, evaluate, and the cycle continues because it doesn't stop. Why does strategy not stop? Does anybody care to tell me why? You design your strategy now. You want to take over Ajao Estate. Probably you run an hotel. You want to ensure that if 100 guests come into Ajao Estate, at least 20% must come to your hotel, except you have no vacancy. That's your strategy. As you are strategizing, what's happening to your competitors? As you are implementing, will the actions that you are implementing, will they be seen in the open? Your actions are seen in the open. It's your plans, it's your design that they may not know of. But by the time you do something, they would see. Will they react? Yes. And if they react, what will happen to you? Let's assume that you decided that you wanted to make your price the cheapest. So let's say you have weekend rate. Nobody had weekend rate before. You know, in an hotel you can have a rate during the week and a weekend rate. The weekend rate is usually cheaper than the rate during the week in a lot of places. Now, if you decided in a place where everybody had high rates, the rate was the same every day of the week, and you decided that, you are going to slash your weekend rate low. If they get to know, you know, it's easy for them to also slash theirs low. So what happens? You have to quickly go back to the drawing board and do what? And re-strategize. So you don't stop because competition will not stop. Customers' preferences will change. Things will change. Technology will change. So strategy is an endless game. When these guys started, they were talking about being Nigeria, later Africa, later world. So you keep moving. And if your strategy was to be the biggest in Ajao Estate, if you become the biggest in Ajao Estate, what will you do? You set another big goal for yourself. So that's it. So most businesses, remember, you get to an established stage and you decide whether you go up or go down. So if you decide that you must expand, you need to re-strategize. That's it now. We've talked of ideas, so I will assume that idea was visualization. So let's talk about how do you determine your position in the market? How do you analyze your position? You've just started a business. Let's start with those who are starting. You actually have a position in that market. Everybody knows you. You have not acquired one customer. You are just opening shop. You are the first employee that was brought there to start the place. And not just that, this is the first branch. So you have no one to learn from. You know, it happens to some people. You are the first set of employees for a business that is starting, and you are the first set of staff in the only branch. If it was a laundry that had several locations and they open a new branch and they bring you in, no, you can still have experiences to learn. They can send people from there to train you. They will have the same policies. There are all sorts of things you can borrow. But you are starting afresh as a business. Or you are already an existing business. How do you determine what? Your position. We're going to use two things. I'm going to share them. One is SWOT, one is PEST. Okay, a SWOT analysis. Yes. A SWOT analysis. We'll talk about that in bigger details. But the first thing I want to say, just go down. Yes, let's talk about SWOT. A SWOT analysis, you can use it for your own life. Forget about business and career. You know, it's a simple way of analyzing your position at any time. To ask yourself, what are my strengths? That's what the S means. What things am I very good at? So for a footballer, let's use a footballer. What's Messi's greatest strength?
Dribbling with the ball.
Okay. What's Ronaldo's greatest strength?
Speed.
Okay, let me use something that's not football. Who loves cars? Okay. So what's your best car?
Mercedes Benz.
What do you like best about Mercedes?
The quality.
So you see, strength. What are the greatest things that you have that are your top qualities? You know, typically what happens is that when you are going for an interview, you know, you better start talking about the things that you are good at, isn't it? And not the things you are not good at. I hear people start an interview by apologizing. I'm sorry, I'm not good at this. We didn't ask you. Tell us about what you are. We may never even know that you're not good at it, and we don't care. But if you bring that to the fore, maybe that's where it will all end. So what are your strengths as a business? You're about starting. Your strength could mean, am I an expert in this thing? Could mean, have I gotten people who are experienced in doing this? It's a new business, right? All right, but maybe the people who are coming with me are experienced doing the same business elsewhere. That's a strength, isn't it? It could be that you understand the local environment. That's a strength. It could be that you have a lot of finance. That's a strength. No, so there are also, it could be that your technology is fine. Let me give you an example now. The guys that came, you know, before, if you wanted to travel, how did you get your visa? And how did you book for a flight? You go to a travel agent at an office. You know, right now, some businesses have made it such that you don't need to go anywhere. You can sit in your room, go online, pay for check airport airline schedules, decide the airline you want, compare airlines, decide the seat you will sit, decide the price, book hotel, decide airport pickup. Everything around it has been done. Whereas the travel agent is still waiting for you to come and knock on his or her door. Very sad. Let me share with you guys this, and it's important to you. I was in a class one day. There's a business school I was in a while ago, and something happened. I had a classmate who runs a travel agency, very big one, and my classmate did not understand why some of us go online to make our bookings. And I was wondering, I'm a very busy person. You do not expect me in Lagos to drive to Yaba from the island just because I wanted to make a booking, and you would make all the decisions for me. Whereas I can sit in the comfort of wherever I am and make a million decisions, look at a number of parameters, make my decision, pay, do everything at my convenience. Why would I come to you? So 10 of us that traveled within 1 week did not use her. So all the revenue should have gotten from us, she did not get. Simply because she did not recognize that there was a new strength in the industry that she needed to build. So that was weak. So that's our weakness. So that will be weakness for her. So weaknesses are those things that you're not good at as a business. The opportunities are those things that you see that if you exploit, they will make you a better business. So this particular program you've come for is an opportunity. So if you are that type, if you are an organization that is a learning organization, you know there are some organizations that are learning organizations. They are always willing to send their people to be trained. They invest in their people. I know a particular bank in Nigeria. If you don't attend a minimum number of trainings in a year, they will withhold part of your pay. And they are the ones that pay for the trainings. They force you to go for a certain number, almost 30. Yes, they force you. In short, they spend heavily on training. How many people would like to be in that kind of place? Where they force you to go and some of them send you out of the country for that. That's a very fair place. And it's happening in Nigeria here. And it's very encouraging. So they've recognized that their people are one of their greatest strengths, and they are putting money behind their people.